Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations, much love and respect to you. I came out there pushing this word out in truth and sincerity. You Edomites have a lot to pay for. Okay? You have done a lot of evil to the children of Israel and continue to do evil to the children of Israel covertly and overtly, meaning a lot of the things are very hidden and you'd have to do research to find them, and some of the things are actually still overtly. And when I say you Israelites or Jakes, I'm speaking about you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, all right, and the scattering Israelites around these different nations. Now, the Edomites would be you so-called white people. For the most part, y'all are Edomites, okay? And the Edomites are the arch enemy of the Israelites, which the Israelites are the people of the Heavenly Father, right? The people that the Heavenly Father chose, okay? And this is why there's an enmity against you versus us. There's an enmity between us, and that's an enmity that is in the spirit. It's a spiritual enmity, and this is what we're trying to explain to you. The reason why you see this title says 36-year-old black trucker unalived in Newton, Mississippi, right? It's not because he did anything to these Edomites, or he was attacking one of them or nothing like that. It's just a hatred that these Edomites naturally have for us Israelites. Okay, and there's many stories of these Edomites unaliving these truck drivers. Okay, we're seeing a lot of that happening, and even if you go here on the side, he just uploaded a video two hours ago about another truck driver. Here, let me pull this to the side. Another truck driver, Tremaine White, which was a Jake, unalived in Liberty, Mississippi. So in Mississippi and Vidor, Texas, different places that are known as like sundown towns and got a lot of predominantly Edomites, where the cops are in on it, right? Because the cops are with the triple Ks and whatever the case may be, they basically just hate you Jakes. They basically just say it's he did it to himself. And Jake knows that, the family members know, nah, he didn't do this to himself. Okay? He was never in that type of mind state. Okay? So this is the wickedness of you devils. This is the type of blood that has to be answered for, and this is why we're waiting for. This is part of why we're waiting for Yahweh Shai to come back, so that vengeance come upon you Edomites, right? So that we can perform that vengeance, which is all biblical, which is all prophetic. Okay, it's all prophetic, and I wanted to get something dealing with the enmity, right? Let's go to Genesis, the 3rd chapter. Okay, this is the curse of the serpent. All right, because the serpent, the reason why he did what he did to get Eve to go off was, first of all, he was jealous of Adam. The scriptures tell you that because of jealousy, the devil beguiled Eve. Is all based upon jealousy of Adam and his position, and a lot of the things that these Edomites hate us for is based upon jealousy. So anyways, this is Genesis 3, and I'll start at verse 'Salakia, give me 1 second. Right, let's go to verse 14. And the Lord's power and Yahweh power said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, right? And the serpent was not an actual snake or a reptile. It was a man that was described as a serpent, right? This word, I believe it's nachash. It also goes into a diviner, Let me just verify that this is the word nachash. believe it's Nachash, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Nachash, right? Which also goes into a sorcerer, someone who's very subtle and cunning, right? This was a man, all right? It says, and Yahweh said, and Yahweh power said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle, and above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life, which represents confusion. Okay? And I will put enmity, right, between thee and the woman, okay, and between thy seed and her seed, right? The woman is speaking about Eve, but it also represents the nation of Israel. And the seed, women don't have seed, it's really dealing with the seed of the righteous, okay, going through Adam. It's the seed of the righteous. That's who the enmity is going to be. That's who the enmity is going to be with. That's who the hatred is going to be with. Okay? It says, and between thy seed and her seed, it shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. Now, bruising his head, bruising our heel means that he would do damage to us, some serious damage to us. But at the end of the day, we're going to bruise his head, which when you look up this word bruise, it means to crush, meaning we're going to completely destroy them, right? Starting with Yahweh Shai. Okay? And that represents us taking them out of power and completely putting them down, which that is also prophesied in 2nd Ezra, the 6th chapter. Okay? You have to understand why these devils have this hatred for you. A lot of Jakes is like, why do you hate it? What did black people ever do to you? And you're asking these questions, but the prophets were giving you the answers, but you're not accepting the answers, or the Lord has blinded you so you can't see or perceive the answer. Okay? This is 2nd Ezra 6 and 9. It says, for Esau, matter of fact, I'll start at verse 7. It says, then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? Right? When is going to be the kingdom of heaven? When are the Israelites going to rule? This is a question that even the disciples were asking Yahweh Shai when he came. Right? They were asking the Lord that. They were like, will thou at this time restore the kingdom unto Israel? No, and the answer was no. It wasn't time to restore the kingdom unto Israel. Okay? And that what the Lord explained to them, there had to be a falling away first, meaning we'd have to fall, we'd have to go into slavery, all these things would have to happen. Okay? Before we would and Esau would have to come back into power. He would have to fall. The Roman Empire would have to fall. He would have to come back into power. Okay? And then Yahweh Shai would come back and set up the kingdom of Israel. Okay? It said, let me continue. It says, then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him. See, it all goes back to Jacob and Esau, right? Which is spiritually, Jacob and Esau is spiritually the relationship of what? Of Abel and Cain. Cain and Abel. Okay? It says Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. And that holding the heel represents us taking him down. That's what it represents. Right? Meaning he was going to, have the dominion of the whole earth first, but then we will take him down. Okay? For Esau is the end of the world, and we are in the end of the world. See, vocab, this is why vocab doesn't want to deal with the Apocrypha, because there's too much signs that show you who the Edomites are. Right? It says, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Right? And Jacob is going to come in right behind him. The hand of man is betwixt the heel and the hand. Right? Other question, Esdras, ask thou not. Okay? So when it says that he will bruise our heel and we will bruise his head, meaning we will completely take him down. It says, through Yahweh Shai, through the Lord. Okay? It says, unto the woman, he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow. Well, this is going into something else, but that was the point dealing with the serpent. Okay, so when you go into also Genesis 25, right, it shows you that enmity that we had, because you have the seed of the righteous, because that's what that whole thing was about, the seed of the righteous and the seed of the wicked. Okay, now you have the seed of the righteous, which is Jacob, and then you have the seed of the wicked, which is Esau. Okay, now Genesis 25 in verse 23, matter of fact, I'll start at verse 21. It says, and Isaac entreated Yahweh for his wife, because she was barren, and Yahweh was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived. Okay. And the children struggled together within her. Right? It said children because they were twins. Okay. And she said, but they were paternal twins. They weren't identical twins. Right? It says, and she said, if it be so, why am I thus? Right? Meaning, why is this all this struggling going on? And the children struggled. I'll read that again. And the children struggled together within her. And she said, if it be so, why am I thus? Right? Now let's look up this word struggle. See, because we have to break down the fact of why this is happening, man. Because a lot of you Israelites don't understand why these devils have that hatred for you. It's because they are the wicked and you are the righteous, you know? Although a lot of the righteous are wicked. But guess what? The righteous can become wicked, but the wicked can't become righteous. Meaning, if you're I don't mean the scripture says if the wicked man turns to his, that's speaking about an Israelite, because really, technically, they're the righteous. But an actual Edomite, the scriptures say that though favor be shown to the wicked, yet shall he not learn righteousness. So you can't make an unclean thing clean, but you can make a clean thing unclean. You can profane a clean thing. Okay? So anyways, it says, this is Rataza. Okay? Excuse me, Salakia. All right, Ratazat. Okay, and it says, oppressed, broken, break, bruised, crush, discourage, struggle together. Okay. So so they were fighting each other. They were crushing. They were bruising. They were elbowing, right? To crush, to oppress, right? To crush, to be crushed, to be broken, to crush, to crush in pieces. All right. So that's what was happening in the womb between these two children. Why? The Lord's gonna break it down to you. And Yahweh said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb. Although they're coming from the same man, the Lord made them 2 nations. Okay? And they look completely different as well. And 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other, right? So we are the stronger, they are the weaker than the other people, And the elder shall serve the younger, right? And the elder, right, it's going to tell you who the elder is, who came out first. Now, 2 manner of people, because we have a totally different way of being. We have a totally different characteristics. Like I said, you have the righteous and you have the wicked, right? And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red, all over like a hairy garment, because they had garments back then that they would dye red. They used the red heifer, and then they would dye it even more red. This is the type of red it's talking about. It's talking about a deep, dark red. It's not talking about ruddy. There's a difference between ruddy and red. Okay, although they may use the same Hebrew word, there's a difference between ruddy and red. Okay, this word is Adum, Adam, Adamun. No, excuse me. Let's do this again. Adamun. That's what it's saying here. Adamunya. Adamunya. Right? Which it says red, right? But there's another way of saying it. Adawum. Adawumya is another way of saying it. But this is said Adamunya. Adamunya. Okay, that's what's said here. But, another way to say it is Adawumya. Okay? Which means red. Okay? It says red, but it's not ruddy is not a correct definition for this, because ruddy, if you look up a ruddy animal, let's put about ruddy duck, right? It's not deep dark red. It's brown. Look. Let's type this in. Look at it. This is brown with red undertones. There's a difference. Okay, this is brown with red undertones. Okay, you can clearly see it's brown. Let's look at this one. This is brown with red undertones. Okay. Okay, so it's the melanin mixed with the blood inside you. But Esau doesn't have melanin, so he's completely red. All right, let's look up, let's look up the color red. Red. You know what? Red baby. Let's type in red baby. Okay. Look. Look at this baby. This is how Esau, this is how Esau came out the womb. He came out red, just like this. All over like a hairy garment. Red. This is deep red. This is not ruddy. Okay, this is a deep red color because you're seeing the blood come forth through its skin. Okay, which is a lack of melanin. Okay. Okay, good. Now, come back. And it says, it's back here. Right. And the first came out red, not ruddy, but red all over like an hairy garment. And they called his name Esau, which means wasted away. Okay, the word Esau means wasted away. What was wasted away? What was taken from him that was different, that made it look like he was wasted? It was his melanin. It was his melanin. Just like, hey man, just like when Miriam had her melanin stripped and she turned, as the scriptures say, white as snow, right? The melanin was taken from her and she became leprous. And Aaron said, let her not be as one dead, right? Because she looked wasted away. No, see, this is not the correct definition. It says hairy. Nope, that's not the definition for that's Shiar is hairy. This is not what it says. This is Aishar, okay, or Aishawa. No, excuse me, Aishawa. Okay, that's what it's saying here. Aishawa. Okay. Aishawa. Okay. But that doesn't mean hairy. It means wasted away. All right, let's go. Apparently, form of a part. Aisha. Right, Aisha. That's the root is Aisha. Okay. It says to do, fashion, accomplish, to work, deal, to act, to affect, to produce, to make, to attend, to put in order, to observe, acquire, to be done. Offered, observed, made. Prepared, observed. So here it's saying to be done, Aisha. But it does not mean hairy. Okay? It does not mean hairy. All right? Because when you look up Mount Seir, the word seer is shayar, which means hairy. It's a different word. Okay, so the name was is here is Aishar, and the root is Aisha. Okay, but it does not mean hairy. Matter of fact, let me type in seer real quick, man. Let me type in seer. I don't want to leave from that place, but let me type in seer. You look at the word Mount Seir, right? And it looked this way because they called it Mount Seir because it looked like the mountains looked like the mountains were hairy. And you looked at them from a distance. Shayar, right? Which means hairy, right? Shayar means hairy. Okay. Aishar that's different. Shayar is hairy, right? Formed like Shayar. Okay. Shayar. Okay, that means hairy. Okay. Not Aisha or Aishar. Okay, those are different words. Okay. Nonetheless, let's come to and when you looked up Aishar, it said to be done or finished. So let's continue in Genesis, the 25th chapter. This is Genesis 25 and 26. It says, and after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them, right? And Jacob, I didn't mention Jacob's color because he looked normal. He had a normal coloring. But Esau came up with that deep red because he lacked melanin. That's why it mentioned his color opposed to Jacob. You see? They came out with different colors. That's why it was mentioned. It was common sense. Right? Now, dealing with this, right? Going back to this. You Edomites got to pay. Okay? Esau has to pay. I'm going to play some of this video too. But before I even play this video, I want to get a couple scriptures. Before I even play this video, man. Because if you listen to vocab, man. Esau's done away with, but now he changed it. Esau's here, but Esau could be forgiven. No. Okay? Esau has a great future judgment coming to him that he has not received as of yet. All right? This is Ezekiel 35 and verse 5. It says, because let's go to look, it says, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it. Now, Mount Seir is where the Edomites dwelt. Okay, so this is a prophecy against the Edomites. It says prophesy against it, right? And say unto it, Thus saith the Lord power, behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out mine hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. The Lord's going to make Esau most desolate. Esau is ruling right now. Esau's not desolate yet. Okay? I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am Yahweh, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword, in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. See, so what you did to the Israelites, and you did that all the way back then, and you continued all the way up until now. Every time you got the power, you oppressed and destroyed the Israelites. Okay? Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord, power, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Right? Thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut off from it him that passeth out, and him that returneth. Right? And that represents the Edomites in general. Okay? It represents the Edomites in general, because Esau left Mount Seir, and he went to go and conquer and take over and steal the lands, all throughout Japhet's territory, all up in Europe, all up in Canada. He took Gad's land, took in all these different lands. He spread out everywhere except for Mount Seir. Okay, so this is dealing with the Edomites in general. This is dealing with the nation of Edom. It's like sometimes it speaks about Jerusalem, and it's speaking about the Israelites, right? And I will fill his mountains with his slain men, and in the hills, and in thy valleys, and in all thy rivers shall they fall that are slain with the sword. Okay, so the point is there that Esau has a judgment coming to him for what he did to the Israelites, man. And that's a theme that's all throughout the scriptures. Let's go to Obadiah, the 1st chapter. And you can read the whole of Obadiah, right? Goes into the judge. It says, Edom will be humbled. Yeah, Edom's not humbled yet. Edom is in rulership. Edom is the most proud nation still in rulership. Okay, let's go to Obadiah 1 and we'll start at 10. I could read the whole thing, but you know what? Let's start at 10. It says, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. You see that? That has not happened yet. They have not been cut off forever, right? And they're still committing violence. Exhibit A, 36-year-old black trucker, a truck driver, unalived in Newton, Mississippi, and there's countless videos on that. Because look, just 2 hours. This was made 1 day ago, yesterday, and there's another one he did 2 hours ago. So he could make videos every day, being just as diligent as us, right, on this topic. That's how much of this is going on. Okay, but there's deeper things that Esau is doing behind closed doors. There's poisoning. There's genetic targeting. There's all kind of wickedness that Esau has been doing. Spreading of diseases, right? The food being defiled, the water being defiled. There's all kind of wickedness. Psychological warfare, man, which is damn near worse than this. Okay? Right? Which is worse than this. That Esau's doing that. Okay? Promoting all this wickedness to Jake, which is death. Okay? So anyways, so it says he shall be cut off forever. And when you jump down to Obadiah, verse 17, it says, but upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance. Does that mean only on the mountain, Mount Zion? You got to go to Israel on Mount Zion, right? And then that's the only deliverance. No, it's speaking about the Israelites, man. Just like when it's speaking about Mount Seir, sometimes it's speaking about the Edomites in general. Okay? And there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame. Right? The Israelites are going to get back together and be one again. And the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them. And there shall not be any remaining. of the house of Esau. Herod was the only Edomite. It said, there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for Yahweh hath spoken it. Okay, and as long as there's male Edomites around, that guess what? The house of Esau is still here because he can continue his seed. All right, it's really about the males, right? We can, the Lord can have it where all the males are done away with, and that's the end of the nation, because the woman can't bring back the Edomites. Okay, only the males can. You see? So it says that there's not going to be any remaining of the house of Esau, right? For the wickedness that Esau has done, right? So we know Esau is not done away with, because that event would have been a major event in history, obviously. Okay? Get rid of a whole large nation like that. That would be a major thing, a major historical thing. And plus, it said that Jacob, the southern kingdom and the northern kingdom would do that. The southern kingdom and the northern kingdom hasn't been together since the time of King Solomon, man. And a little bit after that, they haven't been together after that, because the Lord did away with the northern kingdom for a time. And then he did away with the southern kingdom, and they were separated, man. So we know that couldn't have happened back then. So when did it happen? Oh, that happened. It was like vocab, that devil, like he said. Oh, that, it happened in the time of the Greeks. The wars. What the hell are you talking about, man? Judah and Israel were not together at that time. It was only the southern kingdom that was there. The prophecy said Judah and Israel will do it. Judah, the southern, and all the way down to Issachar will do it. Okay? So anyways, let's play this video, man.
And I do these video cold cases about our people because if we don't talk about it, nobody else is going to talk about it. This happened back in 2016. It only has one video about it, and the video was like 37 seconds. I'm going to put it in the description. But you gonna see through this story how this been going on. Just imagine the stories we haven't heard about, how the black truck drivers went missing and nobody talked about it. It got no coverage. So I have to keep making these videos so I can keep my new drivers aware, because we think times have changed. We think America has evolved. It hasn't. Like I said, once you step off of those main roads and into those back roads, these small towns, it's still 1960. So you have to realize that. This dude was 36 years old doing his job and went missing. And he was found the same way Javion was found, the same way David was found, all them other videos I made. He was found the same way. Is this a coincidence? And I'm going to tell y'all about these small town truck stops. If you can avoid these small town truck stops, avoid them, because everyone is watching you. I don't care if they're black, white, Mexican, they all watching you. If you're not from there, they watch you. They watching how much money you spend. They watching how you walking back to your truck. They watching everything about you. As soon as you go take that shower in that truck stop, they watching you. You sit down and eat, they watching you. They asking you questions. That's why I say stop the small talk. Stop the small talk when you go into these small towns, because people, they trying to figure you out. They trying to see how you're moving. They trying to see how much money you got, because you coming in with money. You a truck driver. They looking at you like a walking lick. But let's get right into it. The family of Tommy Lee Wilson III, 36, says that he has been missing since May 25th, 2016. Police located Wilson's truck at the Newton Junction truck stop-off of I-20 last Wednesday, but were unable to locate him. One of the windows of his truck was broken out. So like I told y'all about these small town truck stops, this one, Newton Junction. Look, bro, if you can avoid this truck stop, avoid it. You going down I-20, it's a Love's, I think, going down there, and it's Flying J's. I know it's Love's truck stops. Don't park at these truck stops, man. Everybody is watching you. They watching your every move. And I think they said that this happened around Memorial Weekend, or they found his body around Memorial Weekend. But everyone is watching you at these small truck stops. So if you have to park at a small truck stop, just inform your people. Talk to your people. Tell your people where you at. Tell your people how you moving. If you getting up your truck to go to Walmart, tell your people, okay, I'm going to this small town Walmart and stuff like that. Let them know where you are, so we don't have to depend on the cops, because like I say, all of them on the same team. In these small towns, they all on the same team. The people working at the truck stop, they all on the same team with the other people. They not gonna tell what happened. Wilson's mother, Barbara Harper reported her son missing after his employer, Chris Beach, telephoned her to say that her son has not made it to his pickup point. Remember that. He called his mother to tell her that he didn't make it to his pickup, to pick up his load. Beach told her that her son's truck has been found and that it had been vandalized, but the authorities had not located her son. Like I always tell y'all, these trucking companies are not worried about you. They focus on their truck and they focus on their money. He called her to let his mom know that he didn't make it to the pickup point. Not that he was missing. The first thing he told her was, oh, your son didn't make it to his pickup. Where is he? He ain't let her know that the truck was vandalized and her son was missing. The first thing he said that.
Right. So the bottom line is a lot of these Jakes are getting unalived in these places. Okay, in these different small towns where
Don't skip this video. God wants to speak to you. He has chosen you. If you are watching this video,
and look, I was gonna do a story,
which is majority Edomites. Okay, these small towns which are majority Edomites, because these Edomites are murderers. They're in the spirit of Cain. Oh my gosh, I gotta get it? Let's get it. Let's get John 8:44, man. They're in this when the Lord was speaking to these Israelites, calling them the devil, the father of the devil. He was speaking about the Romans, man. This is John 8:44. It says, "Ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning." The devil, Satan is not a murderer. Satan is just in the spiritual realm. Satan causes people to murder. Okay, the one that was a murderer from the beginning was Cain. Okay, was Cain, which spiritually was the wicked, right? Which came back as these Edomites. That's why they have the spirit of Cain on them. That's why they love to put people to death, especially you Israelites. Okay, and abode not in the truth, and they're liars, right? That's why them cases can't get solved, because they're all in cahoots. Okay, because and just like vocab's a liar. Okay, he doesn't deal with the truth. He won't admit when he's wrong. He'll just move the goalposts, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. Okay, he's a liar and he's the father of it. Okay, and what were these wicked scribes and Pharisees that were, on the higher level of the Israelite society? What were they worried about? They were worried about the Romans. They were worried about the Romans taking their place. They're doing the lust of the Romans. Okay, they were trying to please their daddy Esau. Okay, that's what Yahweh Shai was going into, man. Okay, because like I said, Satan doesn't murder. Satan is just in the spiritual realm doing his job. Okay, so look, this is just 2 hours ago. Another Jake put to death.
Story about the history of Mississippi today until I ran to this story. And we just talked about yesterday a truck driver from 8 years ago being unalived in Mississippi. But this happened on October 4th in Liberty, Mississippi. And there's no local news in Liberty, Mississippi talking about it. It's no Fox talking about it.
And really, you can never know the amount of Jakes that these Edomites are still putting to death, because like he said, they're not talking about it. They won't call it that. They won't even put it on national news, because it's not even, it was just he did it to himself. Okay, and they have the power to do that. They have the influence to be able to do that. So ultimately, man, when more things are dug up, man, the Lord is going to rouse up Jake against these Edomites. All right, he's going to rouse these Jakes up against these devils, and you devils are you're going to wish you were never born. Let me get this real quick. Let's get Zechariah 9. Let's get Zechariah 9, verse 13. I got to close up. I got to do a couple things, man. But, yeah, man, Esau, you have a lot to pay for, man. And it's a continual, perpetual hatred, as the scripture said. And Jake is not running around hunting you devils down. You devils can be in the worst hood in Chicago, man. And Jake will leave you alone. You'll be jogging. You'll be going to Starbucks. You'll be doing whatever. And Jake won't touch you. But if it's another Israelite, another so-called black man, then Jake is looking at you. A so-called Latino, Jake is grilling you. Where you from, cuz? They don't ask. Where have you seen them ask an Edomite, where you from, cuz? They're not going to ask Esau that. They'll ask another Jake that. So you Edomites are safe amongst Jake. Jake is not trying to harm you. Jake is trying to love you. Like, right? Jake is trying to love you, man. Okay? They're trying to love the devil, right? But Esau, he's looking, when you go to their predominant neighborhoods, right? These certain neighborhoods, they're looking to put you to death. They're looking to cane you. They're looking to cane you. All right? You know what I mean by cane, okay? This is Zechariah 9:13. It says, when I have bent Judah from me, filled the bowl with Ephraim, and raised up thy sons, O Zion, okay, to Zion, against thy sons, O Greece, which that represents you Edomites, and made thee as the sword of a mighty man, because the Edomites took over that Greek area, right? It started with, Philip of Macedon, but ultimately it started with Alexander the Greek, right? Which they came from Macedon. They were Macedonians. What do we know about the Macedonians to prove that they're Edomites? That the Greeks, when you look at the Greek image and how Alexander the Greek looked, that was the image of the Edomites. We got to go back to Haman, right? Because when you look at Haman, Haman was known as Haman the Edomite, but he was also known as a Macedonian of the Agagites. So he was an Edomite specifically of the line of Amalek, okay, of the kings of Amalek, actually. Okay, which was in Macedon, which Alexander, he would have had to been an Amalekite most likely, right? So, anyways, man, the evidence is there, man. We don't gotta listen to you Edomites. At the end of the day, the judgment is coming to you. But let me get Isaiah the 14th chapter real quick. Let me end it off with this, man. This is Isaiah 14. In verse 1, it says, for Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of Yahweh for servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. Okay, whose captives were we? We were captives of you Edomites last. Okay, and you other nations, but mainly the worst captivity was under these Edomites, the so-called white people. So we're going to take you captive, according to the scriptures. And then what? We're going to rule over our oppressors. Okay, that's the prophecies, man. You could cry about it. Oh, it's all about love. Hey, love worketh no ill to his neighbor, man. Look at all this, man. Look at all this. And you're going to be judged as a nation. Oh, it's just him, but no, you're going to be judged as a nation. Absolutely. Absolutely. Were we not judged as a nation? Yeah, so you're going to be judged as a nation as well. So with that, I'll say shalom.